Hi guys, so it's been a while since I've done anything with Kill Team and I'm looking at doing some scatter terrain, and a great place to start is over at My Mini Factories and a lovely page called Print Minis. You'll see me use these quite a lot, and as you can see on the screen here, yeah, they do an awesome array of both miniatures, terrain, vehicles, all kinds of stuff really. Very grimdark style Necromunda, which is just awesome because that's the kind of stuff that I like. So I had a good old browse around here, picked a few pieces, and you'll see those in a minute. And these pieces are going to be printed out using, well, one of my favourite resins, because it's a good all-round resin, as well as being one of the cheaper ones, which is always handy. I do have a discount code as well down below, guys, so go give that a click. And you would have seen in a recent video that I tried all these ones. They're all different colours, which is really cool. But the actual end result, yeah, they all work beautifully. The main reason I go for the grey ones, as probably you'd have seen in the last video, is the grey comes out looking better on screen. So they all work awesomely. So there's a nice cream one here, there's a nice black one, and a few other colours. But yeah, for me, the grey is the best, purely because I can film it better, and you can see all the lovely detail that the Siraya resin produces. So as you can see here, yeah, I've gone for the lighter grey one. Again, don't forget to check out the link down below, guys. I am affiliated with Siraya, so every time you buy something, I get a few pence back from it. But I say I do have a discount code, so you can save money on what I would describe as, well, one of the cheaper resins out there. Let's say they do a whole variety of resins, but yeah, they are beautiful. So as you can see, yeah, I'm making a cryo chamber, and I've got a little weird creature here, obviously the cryo chamber, and the plan is to put a light in this as well, which should be a lot of fun. So it's not just miniature figures that I slap chop, yeah, I slap chop everything, whether it's miniatures, vehicles, terrain, you name it. Yeah, we'll slap chop it. So good old priming in black, bit of dry brushing here with white. So this creature, I love how this looks. It's obviously got a big old brain that's kind of on show, but I just kind of thought he'd look good inside the well, the cryo chamber. And this is what I love about making scatter terrain. It really can be anything and everything. And I say, for me, I love using LEDs, so that's why I want to make this guy, well, light up. So with the terrain pieces, rather than dry brushing with white, yeah, dry brush with a metal colour. Obviously silver is what I'm using here. And the great thing here is when you do the dipping inks or contrast paints, whatever you may use over the top, yeah, it makes things look, well, metallic looking, which is just awesome. So it has been quite a while since I've done anything with Kill Teams, and to be honest, I've not actually played Kill Team for, well, a good few months now. I kind of got back into playing D&D. And for some reason, yeah, I find it very difficult to play two games at once, even though not obviously exactly at once. But yeah, so I am going to be getting back into playing a bit of Kill Team, because it is a game that, well, I love. Nice and simple, nice and fast, and obviously it gives me an excuse to print out more Kill Teams, as well as a whole variety of terrain. And I must admit, I think I've made 4 or 5 different Kill Team boards. I do get bored easy as well, guys. You may have noticed that on this channel that I do a variety of stuff because, well, I like trying new things out and I like to keep things interesting, both for me and for, well, you guys. So yeah, there probably will be a new Kill Team board on the horizons very soon. I've already printed out a new Kill Team, so yeah, keep an eye out for them. And this is obviously where I love 3D printing, because I really can sort of look online, find a team I like, or mix and match. And that's the great thing about 3D printing. I can download a whole variety of bodies, arms, weapons, and yeah, make my Kill Team look completely different to anyone else's, because I really can mix and match, which is just absolutely amazing. And yes, I know I say the word amazing lots and lots of times, and that's because, well, it really is. Everything's amazing, and I just love what I do. And I certainly am very lucky to be able to do this full time. And it's certainly with the help of you guys. So whether you're liking my videos, sharing them, subscribing, or if you're one of my patrons, yeah, it's all down to you guys making this sort of, well, I guess kind of dream that I didn't know I had come true. And as always, slap chop painting, yeah, it gets things tabletop ready in next to no time at all, which is, I absolutely love this. I say, I do like things that are simple, sweet, easy to do, but great results, and that's certainly what you get from using these. So my choice here is good old dipping inks from Green Stuff World. I just love how they go on. They are probably more translucent than any of the other sort of speed paint kind of things out there. But I kind of love that because it means you really can see whatever it is you're doing underneath, the kind of slap chop painting. Say in this case, doing the dry brushing with metal, yeah, whatever sort of speed paint you put over the top, it does give it that little bit of a metallic look, which is just awesome. And then to finish off my cryo chamber, yeah, we'll get a few little transfers on here, as these really do sort of make a big difference in things, just because they make things look a bit more, well, I kind of want to say realistic, but obviously these are all kind of like made up sort of bits and pieces. But again, I love the Necromunda sort of style. I have said it in the past, I have looked into Necromunda the game and possibly playing it, but as we all know, if you've watched my channel for quite a bit, yeah, I get hooked on something, then go absolutely nuts for it, and will go mad and buy, well, everything and anything to do with that game. So for the moment, I'm holding off, as the only 2 games I really play at the moment, well, I guess 3, is Kill Team, D&D, and Hero Quest. They're my kind of go-to games at the moment, which I love, obviously making boards for, making terrain for, and the all-important miniatures, which I have hundreds of now, which is just awesome. And if anyone wants to make a drinking game while watching my videos, yeah, just take a drink every time I say awesome. Yeah, maybe not, just in case. So something I love using, and that's Dirty Down Rust. This stuff, yeah. Again, things that are simple, easy to use, I absolutely love. And this is definitely one of those. You just put this stuff on neat here and there. You haven't got to be neat about the whole thing at all. And then water, get some water down the bits. Say 2 reasons for this. One, you get a nice difference in the rust. You get some real rust areas and some less rusty areas. Plus, obviously, if you're doing this on the side of a building or the side of whatever it is you're making rusty, it drips. It drips really nicely, so you'll get some nice sort of rust drip marks, which is just, again, really good. See there, guys? I didn't say awesome. I was going to, but I stopped myself. So yeah, this stuff, it's up to you how liberally you apply this. As you can see, when I do these kind of things with this and with washes, I tend to slather it on, just because I do prefer the sort of the grim dark style of things. As in, I like all my terrain to look like it's been there for tens of years, 50 years, hundreds of years. So yeah, things have seen better days. But again, this is all preferences. You might just want to put a little bit of this stuff on. Yeah, for me, I like it everywhere. So I've had quite a few messages and comments about when am I next going to do some live streams as well. It's been quite a while since I've done any. And yeah, it is on my mind to do some. I have sort of got everything set up, so it is easy for me to do. It's just a case of me getting round to, well, actually doing it. So if you want to see me do a live stream, let me know in the comments. And more importantly, let me know what it is you'd like to see me do. Whether it's have a go at making something, painting something, or, well, or just sitting here and waffling about me, the channel, and what I like doing. And then to finish off my big bug-brained creature here, as you can see, yeah, just doing sort of highlights. Something I like doing, rather than just sort of doing edge highlighting, I like doing this sort of, I don't know, is it cross shading? I don't know, let me know, guys. All I know is I enjoy doing this, doing sort of like lines across things. I just find it gives it a bit more texture to whatever it is I'm doing. So yeah, cross lining, cross hatching, and, well, dabbing, bit of dib dabbing. Yeah, just little dots here and there. Again, I never really know what I'm doing, what things are called. All I know is I'm having fun. I'm happy with the result. And yeah, that's the main thing. I'm having fun. So yeah, it didn't take too long to sort of finish this dude off. Gorgeous looking creature here. Must admit, this is really cool. I will leave links down below to where you can get hold of everything, as this is actually from Puppets Wars Miniatures. Again, it's another sort of site that I use on my mini factory, well, to download a whole shed load of miniatures, really. Right, so I am nearly done with all the painting, and so I love how the Dirty Down Rust has dried, as well. It just looks like it's a rust bucket, and I need a tetanus jab just for touching it. So to finish it off, I'm just going to do a bit of dry brushing again, with some good old silver, just to sort of bring the thing back to make it look like there are edges that, well, to make it look like it's made of metal. So some of the edges are going to be sort of, well, brushed away. Again, something simple but very effective and enjoyable. Yeah, I must admit, I just love everything I'm doing now. It's great. I think this is all down to the slap chop paint technique. Prior to that, I think my problem always used to be I used to worry too much about what I was painting. And sometimes I used to worry that much that I'd be like, oh, I'm going to make a mess of this. And then sometimes you don't do things. Because you think you're going to fail, you just don't do it. So what I would say now, guys, is just do it, have fun with it, and whatever comes out, comes out. I say that because you are going to see I sort of mess up quite a bit coming up soon. Yeah, I won't say too much now. Let's carry on watching the video, but you'll see it all go a little bit wrong. But for the moment, everything's going well. So that's everything painted and ready to sort of like assemble. Obviously I painted everything separately because it was easier to paint that way, although quite often I do just put everything together, make things difficult for myself, and then paint them sort of, well, glued together. So yeah, much easier painting things separately. So this guy is going to be in this cryo chamber. So I've got these chains that are, again, obviously 3D printed and painted, and these are going to look like they've got him attached to the inside. So again, just a simple case of adding some glue and then putting the rest of the cryo chamber together. And yeah, this is how it looks, and really pleased with the results of this. But obviously, as you can see, everything is clear. So this is where I kind of had the cunning plan that I would like this resin chamber to, well, be full of resin, or should I say cryo chamber full of resin. And then I'm going to have a light sort of from the underneath lighting it all up. So at this point, yeah, everything's looking good. Very pleased with how it's come out. Exactly what was kind of like on my mind. I say now I want to sort of fill this chamber with resin. So cunning plan to do that was to print out the center part of the cryo chamber as a solid block. So as you can see here, yep, absolutely solid in the center there. And then to make a mold of this. And then I could obviously put the center cryo chamber bit into the mold, pour the resin, Bob's your auntie, Fanny's your aunt, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, job's a good one. Well, that's what I was hoping for. But again, let's wait till the end, and then you can see just where things started going wrong. So usual kind of thing. Yeah, obviously I'm going to make a mold from this, so I need to make it into a nice little box that I can then pour the silicone mold into. So the box making, yeah, very simple. Get some nice cheap perspex, glue it to the base there, and then just a case of going round just to make sure there's no gaps at all, as I don't want any of the silicone to leak. I'm using some good old clear resin. So this is all by Let's Resin. Again, links down below, guys, to where you can get hold of this stuff. It works really, really well. I've been using this in the past few videos, and yeah, absolutely love this stuff. So I've only done a few videos using silicone rubber, but again, this is where I want to say practice makes perfect. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So again, I'm using this lovely silicone rubber by Let's Resin. Again, all links down below, guys. Go check them out, as they do a whole range of resins and obviously a silicone rubber, which is pretty cool. And this one, yeah, nice and simple. It's mixed on a ratio of 1:1. So again, makes it simple for me to sort of work it out. Although in this case, I just poured both full bottles into this. As usual thing, I wasn't sure exactly how much I needed, so I just kind of like eyeballed it, and yeah, it looked like the full amount that I was sent would be the right amount. And then using my little drill attachment to make it easy for me to sort of mix this stuff in. Again, it's always great when you get resins or silicone where they're different colours, because then when you mix it, you can easily see that everything is mixed in. I have used some resins in the past that have both been clear. Can make it a little bit difficult, not impossible, because whatever you do is you keep stirring. When you think you've stirred it enough, yeah, stir it for twice the amount of time, just to make sure. And then just a case of pouring it in. This is where there may be some ways of pouring it in properly or better than what I'm doing. But yeah, I'm just pouring in from the top, let it sort of seep down, fill in all the nooks and crannies. And yeah, so at this point, everything was going perfectly. Everything worked really well. This stuff really is nice and simple and quick and easy to use, which is just great. I believe the demold time on this is about 40 minutes, but again, whenever you use these kind of things, read the instructions carefully. I must admit, whenever I'm using these kind of things, I normally do them late at night, just because then I can leave them overnight and then check them in the morning, because I'm one of these people that I'm not necessarily impatient, but I like to, well, I like to touch things. So if I did this during the day, I would just keep prodding it to see is it sticky or not. So yeah, doing things overnight is the best way. So as you can see, yeah, things are just breaking apart here rather than coming off nicely. And this is because I'm using some thinner sheets of sort of plastic than I have done in the past. I think these ones are only about 2-3 mil, whereas I have used some that are 6 mil. And the 6 mil ones, yeah, they just come off as like a nice sort of normal sheet. I mean, because these are smaller, yeah, these are just breaking. So that'll teach me for buying the cheaper, thinner sheets of plastic. Yeah, I need to use the 6 mil stuff. But hey ho, it all comes off in the end, and I'm not going to reuse this stuff. Well, clearly not this stuff because it's all broken and shattered. And yeah, it does come off. Yeah, I'm making a right pig's dinner of this, aren't I? But there we go. So it's come off. Yeah, it seems to have cured, which is pretty awesome. And then there's a case of kind of like trying to peel it away and then push from the underneath to get the thing out, which, yeah, it does eventually just pop out. So the inside is a little tacky, which is why obviously I'm going to give it a little bit of a clean with a wet wipe. But then again, read the instructions on all these things, makes things so much easier. And on this one, it does say if it does still feel a little tacky, then to use some, well, talcum powder. So this is exactly what I did, and it certainly did the trick. Yeah, nice and dried, nice and cured, not sticky at all, and yeah, ready to, well, pour some resin in. So here's my little chap. Obviously he's going to fit in here perfectly with a little bit of gentle persuasion anyway. So yeah, it slots in, and now obviously I can get ready to, well, pour the resin in. And again, I'm using the resin by Let's Resin, as this is something I've used in a few of my past sort of resin build videos. And yeah, this stuff works perfectly. It's easy to use, mix, and yeah, there's no bubbles in this stuff, which is just obviously the main thing. As you can see there, yeah, it's mixed on a ratio of 2:1. Obviously comes in some lovely big bowls, which means I can make loads of this up as well. I'm certainly having fun with some resin videos. So I've already mixed it up together. As you can see, this is one of the clear ones, but the good thing is when you first put the two bits in, one of them is very cloudy. So when you do start mixing them, yeah, you can tell when it's mixed because it goes, well, nice and clear. So I'm trying to pour it in from an angle so it does go straight onto the side of the mould. This is obviously to help reduce any air bubbles that get in this stuff. But say, I've never had any problems with air in this. I don't have one of those fancy degassing chamber thingies. I'm not sure what they're called. But yeah, this stuff, it does take a good few days to fully cure. But that's fine, because obviously I've got time to go off and do other projects. And I say, just knowing this stuff isn't going to have any bubbles, yeah, it doesn't matter if it takes 2 days or 3 days. As always though, this is the moment of truth when taking something out like this. And this is where things possibly started to go a little bit wrong. But you'll see why they went wrong. And obviously I'm going to explain why I think they've gone wrong. But again, this is the good thing with this. Even when you do make mistakes, it's all a learning process. I say this hobby, well, it is just that. It is a hobby, so you shouldn't take it too seriously. Don't get worried by anything. Just have fun with it. And when things don't go to plan, yeah, they don't go to plan. There's not a lot you can do about it. So as you can see, I pull the thing out, and yeah, it's not as clear as I would have liked. As you can see from the top or the bottom, super clear. The rest of it, it's very cloudy. Yeah, very cloudy. So some of this could be me when I put some talcum powder inside the mold to make it less sticky. That might be it. Or it could be other reasons. Not 100% sure. But obviously I know that I can sand down resin. And when you sand down resin and then put some more resin over the top, it does then make things look, well, clear again. So that's exactly what I'm doing here, using a fairly fine sand gritted paper. I do finish it off with even more finer paper, because obviously the finer you make it, then you don't get to see any kind of like, well, any kind of marks in the actual resin. So this is where I was a little bit disappointed. I was hoping this thing would come out and just look perfectly crystal clear, sort of like straight out of the mold. But what I will do is I'm going to show you in a minute why I think this is sort of a bit cloudy and isn't how, well, I kind of would have liked it to have been. And I think the kind of reason for this is when you use the clear resin in these molds, doesn't matter how smooth a surface the actual mold is, yeah, it seems to leave the resin looking a little bit cloudy. So you'll see me do a little diorama with this other mold, and yeah, with this, it came out really well. I was really pleased the way it came out. But the sides, again, they came out very misty, yet the underneath perfectly clear. So I'm not sure if it's a combination of the resin just being against something that makes it go cloudy. Not too sure. So I'm going to do another resin video coming soon, and I'm going to use just clear plastic sheets. I want to make a big resin video and pour loads of resin in there. So this may be the reason. Again, guys, let me know down below if you know why the resin goes cloudy when it's against silicone rubber, or is it just me? So again, what I said with this is you can bring it back to looking relatively clear by pouring resin over the top. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. Some good old UV resin, again by Let's Resin, putting this on and then obviously painting it around. This does make the resin look, well, a lot clearer than it did. But it still doesn't look obviously 100%. This could be me not doing enough sanding. I'm not too sure. So yeah, to say I was a little bit disappointed this didn't come out, again, 100% perfectly. But this is the thing with this hobby. Don't let things put you off. If they don't come out perfectly, try and learn by the mistake. If you can't learn by the mistake, then learn to deal with the mistake. Again, because these parts are just going to be scatter terrain, the fact that it hasn't come out sort of looking 100% right, yeah, it doesn't worry me that much. And I'll definitely still be using these yeah, in any games I play. So for the inside and for the lid, yeah, I painted these with a good old chrome metal, as I want this to reflect more from the lights. So I've got these little flashing LEDs, which are pretty cool. So there's a few modes on there: flash fast, flash slow, permanently on, and then obviously permanently off. So this fits nicely into the bottom of the base because obviously, well, I cut a little bit out purposely. And then it's just a case of putting the cryo chamber on. Again, this looks like a bit of a dog's dinner, but I'm living with that, and I'm just seeing it as that's how it should be. But as you can see, yeah, the underneath is perfectly crystal clear. That's kind of how I wanted everything to look. But again, sometimes we just have to live with whatever happens. As Bob Ross would say, happy little accidents. Yeah, this may not be one of those. But the good thing is you can still see the creature on the inside, which is the main thing. And you can see the flashing lights, well, lighting up the creature, which is the main thing. So I went through and painted the rest of, well, where it looks like the paint has chipped off from the cryo chamber, just to again try and make it the best of a bad job. Yeah, definitely a pig's dinner this though.